Well, here in the United States of America, we have an international audience, Laurie, but here in the United States of America, it is the day before Thanksgiving. And as you and I know, the day after Thanksgiving is known as Black Friday, where people go out to get all those deals and push and shove, the biggest shopping day of the year generally, to get gifts for Christmas. So we thought that you would be an excellent guest today. Laurie Schacht is the president of Adventure Publishing. It is the leading publication servicing the toy and licensing industries. Their publications include the toy book, the licensing book, and the Toy Insider. And Laurie is the Toy Insider. And she brought with us, Oriana, why don't we show the folks? If this is okay, I hope I don't offend anybody in Australia by saying this, because I know the Santa Clauses in Australia, believe it or not, have been told not to say what I'm about to say, but ho, ho, ho! So every year at this time, parents are struggling with what toys to buy their children. This year, Laurie, it's a little bit more of a serious issue than what Johnny and Janie want, or what my pocketbook can afford, or what's going to be durable, after Christmas Day will last to New Year's. Very serious issues coming, because I've been told that more than 80% of the toys that are on the shelves in the United States and probably elsewhere in the world have been manufactured in China.
That's correct.
Which would be fine, except we're finding out that many of these toys are unsafe, they're coated with lead, and now there's a story in today's New York Sun about crucifixes that are being sold on the street in front of St. Patrick's Cathedral that were made in China by children in sweatshops, which begs the question, where were these toys manufactured, under what conditions? And people they want a bargain, there's no question about it, but they want to be, I think, informed buyers, and they should be given the information so that they can make informed choices about what to purchase. And we put the onus of this on the retailers. We want Toys R Us to guarantee to us when we walk in the door that everything has been properly vetted, and that everything that I buy off the shelves at Toys R Us were made not in a sweatshop and are safe for me to give to my children. Must be a hell of a year for you to be reporting what's going on in the toy industry.
Well, you're right. It is a difficult year, but there's a lot to be said, so we'll try and cover it sort of a little at a time.
Okay.
You're right. 80% of the toys that are made and that are on our store shelves do come out of China. So it makes it very difficult when parents say, oh, I don't want to buy anything that's coming out of China, because your choices become very, very limited. I'm a parent. I have nieces. My friends have young children, so I know what it is not just to go to the store and buy, but to bring from my own office to know that those products are safe. So there are a few things to realize. The numbers of recalls, the numbers sound huge to us, huge as a consumer. It sounds like, oh my God, every time I turn around, it's another recall. It's about 1% of all the toys that are on shelves right now. It's a little number. It sounds big. It sounds like hundreds of thousands, but there are billions of toys that are introduced onto toy shelves every single year. So as soon as anybody knows that there's an issue, that there's a recall, the manufacturers, the retailers, do their best to get those products off the shelves very, very quickly. And we'll talk about the things that parents can do, the things that retailers do to ensure that we're putting safe products in our children's hands.
So who bites the dust on this when the recall comes in? Is it the manufacturer in China? Is it Mattel? Not to pick on Mattel. I don't know whether any of their toys were included, but I'm just going to use them as an example. Or is it Toys R Us? Who really suffers the financial consequences of this?
Well, I think the financial consequences the most will be suffered by the toy manufacturer and the companies in China. Mm-hmm. They'll be hardest hit from it.
The retailer doesn't eat it.
Well, the retailer does need it, especially.
Eat it. He doesn't eat the losses.
No, they're not going to eat the losses. They need the toys on the shelves, but like I said, it's still a small number of toys.
I don't want to dwell on this for the full hour, but I just want to get all this out of the way, and probably some of the callers will have questions about this issue. There are a lot of other things I want to talk about as well. But I can't believe, given our concern over this, I'm just playing devil's advocate here a little bit and showing the other side of the coin, that people of our generation are even here. I mean, we didn't have these regulations when we were growing up. We were picking up the Tonka toys Well, I mean, I'm not talking about me, but I mean, kids do put toys in their mouths. I never did anything like that.
Right, we never chewed on our lead pencils.
We never chewed on our lead pencils. You know, we never had little marbles that we could choke on. I mean, I think we should be aware as parents and as consumers, but we don't want to scare the bejeebers out of everybody either.
But especially when we're talking about the younger children, I think the largest concerns come with children that are 3 or 4 and younger.
Right.
Because ultimately they will put things in their mouths.
Yeah.
You know.
Heimlich. We should all know the Heimlich maneuver for children.
I mean,
seriously, we should. My ex-wife, you know, I don't often come on the show and talk about my ex-wife, and not in these kind of glowing terms, but she actually saved a kid's life right in front of me because a kid put marbles in, and the mother was going to pound the kid on the back. And which is the last thing you should do.
You want to do, right.
You know, and she says no, and the mother dropped the kid, and she ran over and gave the kid, I mean, I'm surprised we didn't break anything. The projectile, you know, it actually works. But there are still going to be small toys. There are going to be things that kids are going to want to put in their mouths.
But
so
it
has to be age appropriate, right?
It has to be age appropriate. We have to talk about common sense things. I mean, there's a whole slew of things as parents that we have to do. Should we start with some of those things?
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
For one thing, the packaging. You have to read what every single toy says. The manufacturer does not put it there for no reason. If it says 6+, they mean it. I was just reading an article about one of the recalled products, and in it there was a mom who was upset because she wanted to buy, and it was the Aqueduct, and she wanted to buy the product for her 3-year-old. I was so angry reading it because this is a 6+ toy. And these are little dots, and it would have been a fabulous toy. It made everyone's list this year. And unfortunately, it was, you know, a mess would happen with that. But the point is, that mother was wrong. You can't give a toy like that to a 3-year-old. That 3-year-old is going to look at those little teeny pieces that look like candy and put it in their mouth. It clearly says 6+, and that is a great activity, just like all of these boxes are marked. For a whole host of reasons, but first and foremost is safety. We'll talk about frustration and all of that, but first and foremost always is safety. So the most important thing a parent can do when they're shopping is look at the age on the box.
Okay, but the advertising campaigns that are out there, they're pulling at the children, they're pulling at the parents. The kid may be 3 or let's say a little older. Let's say the kid is 6 years old and it's appropriate for teens. And the kid is watching television, the 6-year-old or the 7-year-old, as much as the 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old, saying, I want that, 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 I want that. And you know as a parent,
how hard it is to say no.
It's very difficult.
But you know what? Your job is to be a parent.
Right.
I have tweens and teens now. It gets harder to say no, so practice while they're young. That's my advice.
Right. You had no idea you were going to come in here and give parenting tips, too.
Well, you know, I can do that, too, so that's
well,
okay.
I mean, you're qualified, obviously. Laurie Schacht is our guest today. She is the Toy Insider, and she's going to tell us all about the toys, the safety of the toys, what's age appropriate. What is the hottest toy of this year?
You know what? There is no hottest toy. That's number one.
How does a toy become like that? Like the Cabbage Patch?
Listen, last year, you know, Elmo, the hottest was.
Yeah, it's like, why all of a sudden? Elmo's been around forever. Maybe not that particular incarnation.
And Elmo is always hot. I mean, I actually have I have one toy that's got Elmo on. Elmo's just a beloved character. But there's a lot of great toys out this season. There isn't just the one toy. But here's the thing. Even if there's one hot toy out for the season, it might be a hot toy that's going to move off the shelves,